Here's the truth. I truly think that we are overthinking content, like massively overthinking content. And what that leads to is hating social media, hating creating these things that make you visible, that sell your business. And that only leads to inauthenticity. It leads to people feeling nothing when they read your post, right? That's why people aren't reaching out to you, because your content doesn't inspire them. It doesn't motivate them. It doesn't do anything. It's just noise in the space of the online world. And you are too amazing at what you do for anyone to ever feel that way about your work and your content. Hey guys, I am Rachael Weaver, your human design and messaging coach and copywriter and the host of the Be You Babe podcast. And today I want to share a workshop that I've done in the past called Content by Design. And it goes into the nuances of creating content like no one else is talking about. I'm talking about like the energetic signature of your content. How do you actually use your human design in a way that attracts people to you? And I'm talking about strategy, niching, what to talk about in your content based on your human design. And then also the aura of you and how you are being magnetic, right? And the actual writing practices that I use in my own content writing and that I teach to clients. It's an amazing workshop that goes into the nuances of content, but it leaves you feeling like you don't have to overthink this, right? You have this basic framework and then just write, just come to the table with what you have to say and stop overthinking it with that head that's trying to tell you how to convince people. We're not here to convince people. We're here to be ourselves, and we're here to express who we are authentically, and those that are right for us will be attracted. I also want to mention before we dive into that workshop is the waitlist for the membership. I'm getting so excited about this. So I've imagined a space that you get the feedback on what you're writing. Say you watch this workshop and you write some posts and you're like, I don't know if this is nailing it or not. Can you give me your feedback? That's what we're going to do inside the membership. If you just don't really understand how to communicate to sell, this is a membership that is going to not only teach you, but give you the mentorship that can help you like shore up that confidence in yourself. I truly believe we all have the capacity to write really well. Conversion copy is not hard. It is just changing the way that you think about your work and how you want to express yourself. That's really all it is. So if you're interested in being on that VIP waitlist, I'm going to drop the link below. Jump in there. I am going to be announcing here shortly. Just so excited about it. So jump in if that is feeling like, yes, tell me more, Rachel. Oh, other than that, enjoy the workshop recording and I'll see you next week.
I'll just reiterate, this is really deep. So if you have questions, please raise your hand and I will help answer them and apply what we're learning to your situation. Okay. I want this to be as impactful as possible to help you figure out what it is that you need to be doing in your content so that you are attracting the right people. And this isn't just about strategies per se and the masculine part of it. It's feminine and it's energy and it's all the things. So we're going to dive in. All right. Oh, that was not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. So we're going to talk about the energetic signature. This is really the framework to your message. And it really is the first key point to it. I think in the workbook, I actually put this like second, but I switched it up this morning because I think we need to talk about this first. Then we'll dive into communicating your voice, which is the Mercury gate and the throat. And then I'll give you frameworks on content and like how to kind of structure this energy a little bit, and content aura. And the bonus, which I didn't even talk about before, was a high impact series. And this is a series that I use when I'm launching anything, and it works really, really well. So if you don't know me, I am Rachel, and I'm combining human design as well as conversion copy to help people step into their authenticity, their own voice, and really communicate it clearly. And that's where the conversion copy comes in, because you can be yourself, you can be the feminine energy, right? But if you don't have that masculine structure to it and the masculine clarity, finding the clarity to communicate it right, it's not going to work. You need the blend of the both. So that's what I'm doing with clients. Okay. The energetic signature is something I discovered um, both within my own message and then working with clients. And it's a way of structuring your core message that really hones in on what your energetic signature. So this is based in your type. So the manifester, the generator, the projector, right? And it's structuring your message in a slightly different way for each person. Maybe you've noticed there's people that will talk you got to know your why, or talk about the vision, or you got to have content buckets and a process, right? They're all a little bit different, and each type gravitates and it just feels right to have their message structured in a certain way. And that's what we're doing with this. So if you're a manifester, which I think we have one in the group, it's all about the big vision and being bold and polarizing. Actually, I think we have two. Joy's one as well. So it's, what is that vision that you hold for people? And I equate it to like a train station analogy, where your train stations are going to this big vision, and each train station is a step closer. So it could be an offer or a service or something, but they all get you a step closer to the big vision. And that's really how you're structuring your core message. And that will play a role in your content and what you're talking about. So for manifestors, it's not so important to niche per se, but we do need to understand, what is this big vision that we're taking people to? Why does it matter? What does it mean for their life? Big, big, big for manifestors. Generators, which we have a few of those in the group, it's about how you're mastering a process or a method. So over time, the more you do something, it's going to be honed and crafted in such a way that it becomes mastered. And it's about kind of like you go through step 1, step 2, step 3 type of idea to get to a result. What does that look like for you as your as the generator type in your business? It also needs to be kind of conversational as well, because as the generator, you need to respond to your environment. So how can you make it conversational in your content? Like asking questions of, how do you feel about this? Or yes or no questions like, do you agree? Yes or no, sort of thing. Making it conversational, almost like you're having a conversation in a piece of content. And then niching is also important as the generator. You do want to niche. You do want to find that ideal client that you want to work with. Yes, everybody may need your help, but who do you love working with? Who do you want to work with that also really need what you do? Okay. The projector. The projectors, I love you guys. You are really the guides. You are, but I think the biggest hang up or the shadow work for projectors is, I don't want to say neediness, but I kind of do. I don't want you creating content looking for validation. I want you creating content because you want to share what you know. You want to share your heart. You want to share all this wisdom that you have, but doing it from a place of I just want to share this, and not putting it out there to seek validation. Does that make sense? And we're structuring it in a system. So you see and have created, likely it's almost always from your experience, a system of healing or um, a system of achieving something. So you achieved something, healed something, worked through something with a certain system that you kind of saw within your own life. You kind of put it together on your own. And now that system you can help other people with. Just the way you helped yourself heal something, you're doing the same thing for other people. So in your content, it's really about your experience. It's about sharing your story. It's about sharing your thoughts, especially for the mental projectors. It's all about your thoughts. The emotional projector is about your emotional story and how you work through emotions. And niching is also important as you niche to somebody, one, that you love to work with, and two, that can really use your system and like loves like that idea behind your system. Cool. Cool, cool. The manifesting generators. I'm an MG as well. All about combining. All about you have a like you love to dive into lots of different things. You have a passion, you have a lot of heart, and like you go, 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 go. How do you combine those things to create something new and I mean, it could be new, it could be just the way that you um combine them to create something new, right? So what let's see, also making it conversational. So as the subset of generators, you're like a generator in that you need to respond to the world, you need to respond to your audience, making your content conversational and asking lots of questions. Uh, and really in your content talking about how you combine things to create something different. So we'll get to the structuring but you'll have times where you'll just be talking about core messaging, and core messaging for the manifesting generator is the different things that you'll likely find that your audience responds to one thing that you in your combination of things more than other. Like I find people really gravitate to the human design parts of it. They don't as much care about copywriting, and they don't care as much about the energetics per se. But they really, really gravitate to human design. So that's fine. Talk more about that. But it's also understanding that it's the combination of things that gets the result. Okay. And keeping your niche broad, allowing you to do what you want to do underneath of it. You can offer different things, but it's all still combining the stuff that you love. Make sense? Cool. Okay. Right. She's having a hard
I have a question.
Yeah, Lynn, go.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I've done so many like business programs, and I definitely, as a manifestor, I don't like, I've spent thousands of dollars and I don't end up following their step by step system because I'm like, I'm going to do it my way. I don't
Yep.
want to be.
Yep.
Yep. So, I hear you like big vision and, following someone along their journey. That's kind of how I've naturally sort of done things.
Great.
I think mentally I get in my own way with like, well, so as a manifester, if I share my big vision, will that attract whoever needs, like, I know I kind of already know my answer, but will it just attract manifestors or people who need
Yep.
step by step? Are they going to be turned off or like,
No, not at all. You see, this is a question that I get a lot is, do you use your own voice, your own energetic blueprint, or do you try and attract like the people that you're looking for? My answer to that is your energetic blueprint always. So my own business coach is a manifester and I am all on board. She gives step by step once you're in it, but her message is all about the big vision. It's all about where she's taking people. And I was like, I'm signed up. I'm in, right? So your training stations are like steps to that big vision. So it's likely someone's at a different stage for each offer that you have. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Does that answer your question too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. Let's see. We got reflectors, which I don't think we actually have. No, No reflectors. So we're just going to skip over that. There's no reflectors here today. The throat and the Mercury. This is the energy part of it. And I actually hesitated on putting this in a few weeks back when I was planning this workshop because it's so deep and nuanced that it's not surface level. And I feel like this type of offer, like a workshop like this, you want to keep things really simple is what I always tell clients, keep it simple. This is not simple. But it was also when I was doing content and core content, everybody loved it. Everybody was super on board with it. So that's why I've added it in. So please, please, please ask questions if you feel like, Anya.
Yeah. So before we move then, we can use like the raise hand, but anyway. So I have two businesses. One is with my husband. We have a flower farm, because we spread joy. It's my core value. But anyway, so with the flower farm, he is an MG and I'm a projector. How do we mix the way we communicate? Because I mean, I want to say, oh, that's your, project and whatnot, but it's really our project. And we both share our website and social media and all of that. And then I have my online business and that's all full projector. Like I get that. But for us, how do we mix
Yeah.
the energies based on what we just talked about?
So is he an emotional projector?
Yeah.
Or, no, you're an emotional projector and he's a manifesting generator. No.
I'm a splenic projector and he's an
Splenic.
emotional. Yeah, he's like solar plexus.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I think it's really sitting down and saying, what is your vision for the flower farm? What is his vision? And then what makes sense to pull them together? And actually do you have like a start date of your business?
Yeah, we did that last year. I can remember what it came. Like when we got the idea and all of that, I pulled a chart, but I can't remember what it was. I'll have to like do that again.
I mean, you could look at that and again, decide what resonates, if it resonates or not.
Yeah.
But for the flower, I mean, I would say if you have your online business, what does it look like if he took more of the like front end of the flower business in his manifesting generator way?
And as you were saying, like the big vision, like that's how in the combination of things, like it's gonna sound silly, but it's an example. Like yesterday, I just came up with like, what if you were to sell also like microgreens with nutrients for your body and nutrients for your soul? So microgreens for the body and flower for soul. It's like a combination of two things that are like,
Yeah.
but it's like, and so I feel as I hear you, for me, it's like reading this energy, like this vision that he hasn't necessarily like birthed yet, but I can tap into it. So would that be like in alignment if I just continue to support the energy that he's sharing with me and I just like translate it into ideas? And would that be considered also like big vision and like different train stations and whatnot?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. So is he a manifesting generator or a manifester?
No, MG, manifesting generator.
Okay. So the manifesting generator it's a little bit about the big vision, but it's more about combining things. So I love you as a projector guiding the manifesting generator.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, you're guiding him, but making sure that he's on board with it, making sure that he's
100%.
Yeah.
It's very important to us.
So if he's saying like, and really MGs, we need somebody to help like hold the reins in.
Okay.
So if you're holding that vision for him and helping guide that engine and keeping him focused on something and not going all over the place, that could really, really work well. Yeah.
See, that's interesting because I sometimes feel that is the opposite. Like he's the one helping me like, okay, let's focus on this, on that. Because I feel like I'm coming up with these big ideas and like, let's do this. And it makes sense. And then I let him respond to like, what do you think about this? Like the microgreen flowers, like last night. And he was like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like that, like this. So I'm just like really listening to you and paying attention about our own dynamics and how that relates to this business that we have together.
Well,
Uh,
and your spleen is like giving you all kinds of hits too, where
mhm.
he's then allowed to respond and like ride the emotional wave of like figuring out, okay, oh yeah, that sounds really good. Like, yeah, that I see that working really well too. Yeah.
How can I help him expand more on these bigger ideas and different ideas? Like give him the opportunity to just be in that space.
He's gonna tap into the sacral energy and trust that sacral energy to go with it, right? Like he still needs to ride the emotional wave on the on the like final decision, but
Mhm.
the sacral, I feel like really gets into the like, okay, what can I do? The possibility of something, right?
Okay.
Um, so if that's like, and also I think if you're not using your sacral very much, it can get just depleted. I guess I don't know if depleted is the right word, but like so
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
needs to go for a
Right.
run or like
Mhm.
just to like get it going, get that motor going,
Mm.
that could really help as well of helping him see the bigger picture, see possibility where before he was just like, "Grr." And maybe if he's in the bottom of a wave, he's not going to feel anything. He'd be like, "Oh,
Right.
right. Um,
So I guess like based on what you said, for me, it's just guiding his own energy and just allowing him to have these different ideas. And then for the copy, just kind of combine the two. Would that work?
I mean, I'd have to look at both of your charts to see
Oh, okay.
like how they're working together. Because like what you could have a channel that he's completing, right? With the hanging gates and things like that. And that maybe, changes the picture. So I think you would be looking at both charts to
What
really
charts?
get an idea.
Got it.
Um, but I like what you're saying in that you're giving him things to respond to, but you're also guiding. You're also right.
So,
Yeah, you're like holding this space. You're holding a bigger vision and giving him something to respond to. But in giving him something, you're also guiding him because you're keeping the
totally.
reins in, right? You're not giving
Mhm.
him random things to respond to. You're like,
No, it's
oh, what
very
about this?
specific,
Yes.
very, yeah,
And that's very
intuitive.
projector. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. And Lynn asked, you want to see the reflector stuff? Okay. No worries. Let's see. Well, where'd it go? What's the question? My husband and I are about to start a biz too. He's a manager and I'm Manny. Okay. I love all these like partnership businesses. That's so cool. Um, okay, so the reflector is all open center. So they're absorbing everything all the time. And for them, it's really they have to allow the flow to work and go as it needs to. So it's generally like with the moon, but they're going to feel a lot of things and they need to work through all those feelings in order to move forward with something. So it's really important community. Community is so important for a reflector. Is they don't have the community, they need to make the community a place that they can just share their inspiration, share what their wisdom is and what they're seeing unapologetically. And people they just want to know what they see, right? Um, so no niche, keeping it really fluid it's more about like the values and what type of environment, what type of community you want, um, and creating that. And people will be attracted to because they want that too. They want a community that feels um, supportive and loving and, all the things that they probably want for themselves, right? To be themselves. They're often the people that they just, they're a little bit different. Um, Kind of like the manifestor is seen as like this big energy that's like your people are always trying to box in. Reflectors are kind of like more off in space and they're just like out there a little bit more. Um, and they just want to be themselves. They don't want anybody saying like, pick something or why can't you're lazy or just have some direction in your life. Well, they don't really necessarily have direction like we think of direction in our like structured way. They're a little bit more fluid and they need that space to be able to create and share what they see in the moment. Um, let's see. Lynn, your question about creating a business as a mani gen and a manny.
But
Um,
no, you don't have to. I was just, yeah.
okay. Okay. We can definitely talk about this maybe at the end. Okay, so let's go into the Mercury and the throat gates. So throat gates, and I feel like I should have done this. Ugh, I have the order mixed up again. We need to talk about the Mercury first. So I'm going to go down to Mercury and we'll come back to throat. So Mercury is your what energy. It's the what energy are you bringing to your content? Are you bringing to your message? This is like how you're showing up. It's not necessarily in specific words, but it's an energy of how you're showing or of what you're showing up in. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So this is a chart of a client, Christy. I think she's actually here. Cool. We'll talk about her. Um, her Mercury gates are about being vulnerable and present in content. She needs to be vulnerable and present in content. She's sharing her experience as the highly sensitive person, and connecting to an audience on an emotional level, feeling the way they feel. So hers was all about being present and vulnerable. So that's the splenic connection here, the 16 to 48. But she's also keeping it big picture focused because she's a manifesting generator and how she's combining things. So, why did I? Okay. No, sorry. I'm sorry. This feels like I did not have, I'm missing a slide in here. I'm missing a slide. So look at your Mercury gates, the energies that I wrote for your emails. That is the energy I want you showing up in. It is your what energy. Okay. And I kind of wrote like in your content, this is how you're showing up, right? In the emails that I sent. And then we take that energy and we're going to apply it to your throat gate, to your throat activations, and whether or not you're defined or undefined. Like, this is more specifically how we're going to do this, how we're going to bring this energy out. Okay. So, give me one. Who's energy? Who wants to give me their Mercury gate? Okay. I
It says Mercury 44
Okay.
and then 59. Those are the two numbers you wrote down, but it says Mercury 44 and then 59.
Yep. And what did I write?
You said the ability to see patterns for 44, the ability to see patterns that have created pain, to bring awareness to help yourself and others break old patterns and transform pain into an increased sense of value and alignment with purpose. That's for 44.
Mm-hmm.
And then 59 is to trust in sufficiency and to know that when you create abundance, there is great fulfillment in sharing. And I have an totally undefined truth.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So do you see how showing up in that energy affects your, like, what your message is for your online business? Just look at the online business right now instead of the floral ones. And how to, let's see. Gosh. I'm just going to bring it up so I can so you're communicating in an energy of seeing patterns. Is there a pattern that you see that needs to be transformed so that people can trust in the abundance?
With my clients,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it comes down to feeling worthy.
Yeah. So that whole message, your whole core, the message is about feeling worthy. It's about showing up in that energy yourself of like, I know that there's patterns that need to change. I need to help people trust in their own abundance. So I have to trust in my abundance. So how can I show up in that energy? Does that make sense?
Now that you put it, yes, 100%. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just thinking about my one-on-one clients, and that's exactly, they use a lot of my own energy. And I just said, like, use me as a mirror. See,
Mhm.
it's a mirror, right? Like, I'm just mirrored to them what's available to them. And yes, I get it now. I couldn't understand it just by reading
Yep. And
email,
that,
so you just put it in a
okay.
different.
Okay. And see, that's the energy of this. Like it's, yeah. So, and that's what I mean by deep. It's taking it and kind of pulling it apart in some ways. But then, yeah. Okay. So, I'm glad that made sense. Now, Chantel says
Thank you.
Mercury, voice. Let's see. Okay. Chantel, you said, where are you seeing possibility and patterns that create pain? The energy is communicating that you see how to transform pain into possibility. Until does that make sense with what you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. Most people come to me for clarity and cohesiveness, but it's because they haven't gone deep enough yet. So I really lean into that truth, with like them building their businesses their way, and helping them get clarity on what that is, so that they can build it like based on their own truth.
Yeah. Okay. So you're seeing possibility. They're not going deep enough. Okay. And the energy. And then with your how you're or with your throat gates, it's then taking that and applying it to the different things that you're combining, right? In your as manifesting generator, how can you take those patterns and possibility and infuse it into your all the different things that you're combining?
Yeah, that one's still a work in progress, but
What are the different?
I'm launching a podcast actually where I'm going to build a quiz for people about like what is keeping you from having like what's keeping you blocked in business from seeing your truth. And then the results are each going to lead to an episode. So they know like they have a tailored place of where to start in the podcast. Cool. And so it's basically going to be, 6 different episodes right at the start in the first drop of what is your like pain point, basically. What is your and what are the possibilities for working through that? So it's a fun project.
That is a fun project. What do you feel like are the different things that you're combining that is different than what other people are doing in the business space?
I'm not sure, honestly, on that. Like I do talk about a lot of things and I keep my niche wide as an MG, but I do think there's this like combination of intention, alignment, clarity, action, like all of those different pieces where I don't just focus on one of those. So, but I'm still trying to figure out that balance, and making it clear for other people.
Yeah. Because as the MG, it's like those things are combining to get the bigger vision, which is seeing that possibility, right? It's what are you calling them to in possibility? And the different things that you combine are helping them break free of patterns of pain.
Yeah. And I think the large pattern of pain that I'm helping with is that people are unwilling to go deep enough, and that's the pattern. They're avoiding going deep enough. They're staying at the surface because they think that, that's safe.
Yeah.
But that's really what's keeping them stuck where they're at.
Okay. Yeah. And then your throat is all about like right timing, intuition, and sharing your insights that you've conceptualized. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say like people really appreciate that I share in the moment as things are happening and not after. So if I'm having some kind of struggle in business, like I don't wait until 6 months later, like I show up and talk about it as it is, which really lines up with my 1-3 profile with the trial and error. Because I'm constantly experimenting with things and finding things that fail and trying other things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been feeling good. It's just, I guess the struggle is getting I think people look at all of the things that I do and they go, okay, but what do you do? Like, what can I buy from you? Right. And so that's the, maybe that's just the MG struggle.
I think it is a little bit of the MG struggle. I want you to think about what is the thing that you want to be known for, and how does the things that you combine kind of get to the heart of that? Like, what do you want to be known for as what type of business coach, or as somebody that helps people do what?
Right. I want to be known as someone who goes deeper into business to make it meaningful.
Making business meaningful. Yeah.
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 I think a lot of the the root of imposter syndrome for people is that they haven't connected enough to the meaning of their businesses for themselves. And so they think that there isn't any meaning there. And like if they look deep, they won't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never really come across a business owner where that's the case. Like it's always there. They can't see it.
Yeah.
On their own.
So it's not about creating a business. It's about creating a meaningful business, a purpose-driven business. It's something like I see that. That's it. That's your thing. That's
right.
It's not creating just a business. Like, we're not just creating something that makes money. We're creating something that fulfills you, that sustains you, and creates the lifestyle and abundance that you want. Right? Yeah. Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels really close. But not entirely there. It's I think that truth gate really shows up because like I want it to feel true to them, like for people to know, what they're doing in their businesses, but also why they're doing it. And not just doing it because someone else told them to, doing it their way. Clients tell me that I've helped them see that, mistakes are not devastating, that it just, is a sign to try something new, and that, in every difficulty lies a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels closer to being it. So it's getting them to see business as this thing where everything is interconnected, right? Where one thing that you do impacts everything else that you do, and vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the combination fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's create. What type of business do you want them to create, or are you helping them create?
I mean, typically my clients are helpers and healers, but they're creating it in a way that's true to them.
Okay. So creating a
so
business.
it's more about how it feels to them than like that's my undefined emotions, right? It's more about what business feels like to them than about what they're getting on the outside.
Okay. That makes sense.
Because clients will say that their goal is not get more clients, make more money. Like they want it to be aligned with them. So they want to be spending the time doing what it is that they want to be doing, not those. They don't care so much about the outside metrics, as long as it's feeling successful for them.
Okay. So you're helping them create a business that feels really good, but it's them. It's their truth.
Right.
Okay. That's the core message. And that's what you want to be communicating to people, is that this is what we're creating together. We're creating a business that is true to you and feels really good, not just a business.
Yeah.
Yes. And then your combination is like it's a combination of really understanding the why, really understanding what it is you're creating, what feeling are you reaching for. And like, those are the different things that you're combining so that you can figure out what this truth is for you.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah. And then you're helping them see the possibility that they can have the business that they want, right? They're just going about it in the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah. That's the Mercury gate. And then sharing in your right timing and the insights that you're conceptualizing, how you're seeing it all come together. That's the throw.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got a question. Stacy, that sounds like love it. Julie, help me. Oh, good, Anya. Lynn. Beautiful. Okay. And let me know if you guys want to workshop on yours, because it's combining it with what you're doing. And that's the piece that like I didn't necessarily have when I was writing all about it. And it's nuanced. It's not specifically saying, so we need to workshop on it, essentially. If you want to workshop on yours, what is yours? Okay, Casey, come on up. Come on up to stage. Okay. Hi. Hi. It's workshop, girl.
All right. So my Mercuries are 33 and 36.
And we're communicating an energy of your powerful personal narrative and holding the vision of what you desire long enough to bring it to life. So it's really about, and I know you've had a lot going on in your life and what has happened to you. And I think your power, your story is where it is. Like that's the energy. It's taking your personal narrative and turning it into something powerful that can inspire other people, but you have to hold the vision first.
And I, prior to this happening, I was teaching a lot on work-life balance through a pretty, it's like a burnout story in the sense of overworking and depleted adrenals. And I've been doing that for about a decade. And so I feel like that story might also blend. I don't know if it will complement this latest story when it's all said and done, or if it will be its own thing. But I see the similarity in sharing that pain to power. It's taken me this far, and then this is something that's completely new. And I'm still in it. So it's kind of hard to like see that vision right this moment. But I know it's going to, now that I have this clarity with the Mercury, I can see that it's definitely going to be about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I read that and the little bit that I know about your story, I was like, it's really all about you healing from the trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sharing how you found that healing and what you experienced and inspiring others. And I feel like it doesn't have to be the same pain that you went through. I think it's pain in general.
Okay. So it could be really anything in terms of pain.
Yes.
Which can be so many different broad areas.
And I think, 100%. I'm not saying that you have to water down your story and your pain. Don't do that. What I'm saying is that people that are going to resonate with your story could have any type of pain.
Got it. So my story would spark their own pain, even though it's not the same pain.
Yes. They'll see themselves in your story being like, I felt the same way. My trauma was different, but I see myself in your story.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And where is that pulling from? Is that the 33?
That's, the 33, and it's also your throat activations, the 16, 33, and 56.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just how I'm reading the energy too. And how, I think you don't water down your story. Share what feels authentic to share for you and feels comfortable. Like don't share anything that you don't feel comfortable with, but you don't have to water it down for other people. They will see themselves in your story.
Right. Well, and thank you for saying that, because like I'm not discharged for work yet, but when I am able, and the neurologist says I can, I was thinking about holding some of it back because I just felt like it was just a lot, and I was going to kind of water it down, and in a way of like to make it more relatable. So I'm so glad you just said that, because I was
thinking about that. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone should ever water down their story if for anyone else's gain, right? Like that's
Yeah.
not the point. No,
Okay.
no. If you feel
Okay.
comfortable sharing it and want to share it, then share it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Great.
more important than anything. Yeah.
And it same goes with sharing it from a sense of uh worthiness, not validation. Like all of that goes together, right?
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to share it because you've gained so much wisdom from it. You've really allowed yourself to heal. Like there's so much wisdom in that, right? And you're sharing
Mhm.
because you want to help someone else see
Yeah.
it as well, right? Like you're not looking for validation in your own story.
Right. And am I sharing it in the sense of, hey, this is what happened to me? Not so much like a teacher, like from a projector standpoint, I'm not telling people what necessarily to do. I'm just telling them what I did. Right.
Yes, exactly.
And if you want to hear more, like ask that pointed question at the end,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
for the end bite, like,
Yeah.
because before my accident, I was definitely writing my content more on the masculine of like just kind of inserting advice. So now that I know this part of it, I will always ask for that invitation, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's asking like, this is what I did and this is how I healed. This is my story. Do you want to do the same? Do you need guidance?
Right.
Do you, that kind of thing. And that allows them to raise their hand and be ready for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Hillary's got her hand up.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, dear.
I have a question. Yeah, you're saying to recalibrate my energy.
Yes.
I'm just
So
wondering what you mean with recalibrate, because you're mentioning that a couple of times. Yeah.
yes. So yours, 39 and 55.
Yeah.
Let's see, the ability to transform an experience into an opportunity. 55, the ability to hold the emotional frequency of a vision for creation. So recalibrating just means that like, I want you to be in the energy of this. So you're transforming an experience into an opportunity. So it could be, how have you done that in your own life? But also how other people can do it too. How can you inspire them to see an experience in a different way? And so they have to recalibrate that energy around that experience that they see so that they can see it from abundance. And you're holding that space for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't like
They're seeing
go
it.
into like mode or
Sorry, it was breaking up. Sorry. Go say that again.
yeah. So like not like if they want to go into like a victim mode or like,
Yeah. Right.
help them empower them instead, how to
Yeah.
use what they've gone through in a powerful way, not like,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yes.
transformation.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And
All
saying,
right.
yeah, like you're looking at it this way, but here's another way to look at it
Mhm.
that would allow more abundance in your life. Depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
Depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's my life. That's my story. Basically, these days, it's just, I'm just doing that with myself, I guess, because,
Yeah.
I feel like, I think I'm a 3/6. And so I feel like I've just, what I, um, I fall down again and again, and then I get up and then in life, or no, still feel
Hildy, you're breaking up
am
really bad. I think, am I the only one that's getting that? Okay.
you're being
Hildy, do you want to turn your camera off and maybe that'll help? So, I think you're breaking up really bad.
can you
Okay. Sometimes if you turn the
is
camera
this
off.
better now?
Oh, that is better. I can hear you. Your image is frozen, but I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just what I said was I feel like I can't just read about stuff in a book. I have to experience, other people think that, I keep, failing all the time, but I'm actually learning
The three. Yeah.
by going through all the experiences. And that's kind of where my goal is,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's 100%
So,
what your goal is. Yeah. Have you reached your Saturn return? Have you turned 30 yet?
yeah. I'm 40, I'm 46.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
coming up to, 47.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, lots of transformation in my life.
mhm.
Lots of transformation.
And
And
that's
that's kind of what I want to help people with. I've gone through so much stuff in my personal story. So,
yeah. And
and
that's
a lot around like sexuality, and I want to empower women
Mhm.
to get in touch with their own like life force, and yeah, that's what I want to do.
oh, that's beautiful. How, as a manifesting generator, how do you understand what things you're combining to help people understand what you
Um,
understand?
yeah, so I've tried like 1,000 different things, and that's kind of my thing. Like, oh, why can't I ever stick to something? One thing. Like, you know,
You're
I've
not supposed to.
never really known what I'm supposed to be when I grow up. Like,
Yeah.
other people are like, oh, I want to be a nurse. I'm like, no, I want to do this, and this is interesting, and this is interesting, and oh, this is juicy. Like,
Yeah.
so I dive head first into stuff and that I feel like I have like a yes to in my body,
Yeah.
and that I'm passionate about, and a lot of shadow work though. I've done a lot of shadow work, transforming my shadows into gold. So just in different ways, the
Mhm.
psychology and astrology and now human design and yeah, Jungian work and everything and tantra and yeah, you name it.
Well, and
I'm done.
it's those different things like it's the tantra, it's your experience. There's like different things that have lit you up along the path that you can now combine to really help
Mhm.
people overcome and recalibrate their energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
about sharing your personal experience too. It's
Mhm.
the empowerment comes from your narrative.
Yeah. And so I just started an Instagram new account that's called Tame Me Please. And
Yeah.
it's just like not being frozen anymore, just getting back into your wild, authentic self and just telling my story about what helped me, going from really frozen and numb and yeah,
Yeah.
into feeling more alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And really inspiring them to that vision, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Thank
Cool.
you so much.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, I think there was a couple other questions. Casey, these tips apply to writing a story in a book too. Absolutely, yeah. I think Casey, for you, sharing your wisdom, sharing your story, and what that means for you, and what how your life has changed, and how you healed. All of that is 100% applies to a book. Chantel, can we speak more to combining? Yeah, maybe examples of what you've seen other people combine successfully. Um, this means topics or what exactly. So if you want, Chantel, we can talk. Let's see. So I have a client. She is a mentor for other photographers. And she combines like the strategy piece of it, mindsets, and oh shoot, what was the other one? It was like energetics or something like that. It was like, or it was tapping. It was tapping. So they can be tools, or they can be like a full on like human design, right? Like, but human design is a tool. Strategy is a tool. They're all tools. To be honest, they're all tools. They're all tools. What tools do you combine? What things have you dove into? So, what are things that light you up that you have really dove into and learned and then applied to creating something yourself? So I guess you're kind of, it's human design. Those are the main two, but then it's also energetics and like shadow work and healing. And like, there's a lot, that once you get into it, it's all about like, how are you showing up in your own voice? How are you not hiding your own voice? And so it sometimes can become shadow work and healing. Some clients are deeper and need more of that than others. But that is a piece that like comes out as we like really dive into the human design and whether or not they really feel empowered to be using their voice, right? So mostly human design, conversion copy. But there's also a piece that's a little bit deeper depending on the client and that's why I don't talk a lot about it, because it's not every client. Not every client is in the same place. They're in different places. Like some come to me and they're really don't have their voice yet. They're still super afraid to use their voice. And so we work through so that they feel confident in their voice and giving them clarity around their voice and clarity in their brand voice to give their message. Others are like, I know who I am. I just need the clarity. And like, I can do it. I can do the thing and I can go. And they don't need as much of that like healing stuff. So, yes, I know this is MG. This is MG's. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Chantel? Do you want to talk about like what tools you use and we can kind of figure out what you're combining? I feel like I've already had a lot of time. I want to give other people the space. So but thank you. Okay. Okay. So does anybody else have questions about the Mercury gates and the throat and what I sent you, and applying that to what you're doing? Joy, you look like you have a confused look on your face. You're muted.
Sorry, I was trying to open. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Good. Do you have your chart with you? Your HD reading that we did?
I do not have it with me, so I could. That's actually what I was trying to pull up was my email.
Gotcha.
Pull that up.
Let me. You're doing it, just so you know. So I will send you an email because you're on the way. You're already doing it.
Okay. All right. So workshop. It was in the workshop email that you sent this morning, right?
I didn't break yours down because we've done it already. So you need to go back to your human design reading.
All right. Yeah. Second here. We're not up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you would like to go, I'm going to be a moment.
So just thinking what I want to
Always crashing the party.
all good, my dear. What I want you to take away is the Mercury gate is the energy you're showing up in, and your throat is how you're doing it, how it's communicating. Okay. That's the big piece of it. So the energy, your Mercury gate is the energy you're showing up in. What is that energy that I emailed you? and then how is coming out in your throat gate. So your throat gate and what you're connected to. And oops, it's not what I wanted. So bring it back up to throat gate, depending on what you're connected to, what center. So it could be, if you look at your chart, what channel does this is if you're defined, sorry. If you are a defined throat, there are a couple undefined throats, and we'll get to that too. If you're a defined throat, what channel is your throat connected? What other center is your throat connected to through a colored channel? So it could be the Anya. If that's it, then it's all about like you're speaking your mind, you're conceptualizing everything and then speaking it out. And that's really how you communicate. Okay. So you're taking the energy of your Mercury gate, what is that energy? And then communicating it through your Anya. Okay. Your spleen, if it's connected to your spleen, is in the moment and you have to be grounded. This is my connection. I have to be 100% grounded before I write any content and just allow it to come out. And trust what is coming out is what is needed. If you're connected to your G center, which is right below, it's speaking of I am. It's about identity. It's about being your higher self and authenticity and really calling other people to that. If it's connected to the sacral, it's about the sounds, like you're going to be like, you're going to say, you're going to be a talker. Like it just, the sacral sounds. And it's about expressing that joy for life. If your heart connection, it's, I want that, I have that, I will do that. It's allowing yourself to speak your desires when you're creating. This is a manifestor channel. Embodying your capacity for love and appreciation and really reflecting that in your words. If you're connected to your solar plexus, it's about your emotional story, all about how you deal with your emotions, ride your wave. People, especially the undefined people, really want to understand how you have consistent emotions, because the people that are undefined don't have consistent emotions. They're all over the place. So you sharing your emotional journey is really important. Okay. If you are undefined, it is waiting until the timing is right, and you will intuitively know when that timing is right. There's going to be an incredible pressure to speak. So anybody with an undefined is almost always like, I don't want to speak, and like spill it out. You need to wait though and make sure that the timing is right. Your audience is ready. So you can share your wisdom in your content, right? But when wait for someone to invite you to speak somewhere else, like don't go and invite yourself to be on a speaking stage, or like it's waiting. It's sharing what you love. Like I don't want anybody sitting on the sidelines not making themselves visible, because we have to be visible, right? But understanding that you intuitively will know what you need to say when you need to say it, and trusting that. Does that make sense for my undefined throat people? Okay, awesome. Anybody have questions about what you are connected to? And like, that's like what's coming out like this. That's how you're structuring that energy of the Mercury. Okay. All right.
No, I found my chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like my throat is connected to my solar plexus, and my Mercury gate is, just a moment, it was right here. 36.
I have done 36 is part of mine too. It's exploration. I was just looking at that. The ability to hold a vision and sustain it. That's what we talked about all the time, Joy. Holding your vision.
Yes. And I signed up for this workshop. Okay. So this is another layer of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You got to hold that vision.
That's hot.
And the ability to stretch the boundaries of the story of humanity by breaking pattern.
breaking patterns and holding the vision.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also inviting the clients into, because that's the Mercury, right? That's whole for them.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Can I get an example of holding the vision? So, Joy, what's your vision? What is your vision that you're holding?
I am holding a vision for a big, beautiful wellness spa. And I am a dream coach. And so the big vision that I hold for myself is to help people step into their dream. And with my defined throat chakra, I don't have to wait to speak, right?
Yeah.
But because I'm an emotional solar plexus, I do have to wait before I make any big decisions.
Yeah.
And I ride the,
Yeah.
right?
And Joy's a manifester. So it is about being like speaking the vision and like holding it to it and really bold. But that's exactly who you are. Like for a long time, it's been putting yourself into a box. But now we're like breaking that.
We're breaking out of that box.
Hell yeah. Okay. Does that answer your question, Casey? And then Caroline asked, will I be sharing my chart? Oh, yes, I can. I don't have a slide of it, but I can show you. Oh, and actually my chart is all like, I've written all over it, but that's my chart. Essentially. So, I am connected to my spleen primarily. And it's a lot of authenticity because my defined G center, being in the moment, being like, it's about authenticity, being in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Last question. I know. But Casey had a great question. She said, so is the vision similar to your why? And I think I'm still have some confusion around that. Is it my why? Is my big vision my why? Because
No.
I get like wonky when I'm trying to tell like, and I'm like,
your big vision, I think your why is that your vision is like what you're calling other people to. Your why is why you're doing it. Why, if you don't do this, you feel like you just can't, right? Like there's no other option. Like, why are you doing this? Versus the vision is what you're calling people to.
I can get
Sorry. Oh, go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, maybe like in my mind, it's like my vision is to have every woman and child trust their intuition. And then my why is because if you don't trust your intuition, you're giving your power away. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. Hildy, did you have a question?
Yes. So it looks like my throat is connected to both my solar plexus and my G.
Yes.
Center.
So it's both. So you can talk about the emotional story, but it's also about your being authentically yourself. And I am, right? I am this and sharing that. And so it's combination. It doesn't have to mean that like every piece of content has to have both. No, but
Okay.
making sure that you're kind of hitting on both of those at some point in your content. Like maybe one day you want to share more of an emotional story, and on another day it's like, I just want to be myself and I want to do this, right?
Okay.
So it's both, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in combination in the same thing.
All right. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. The strategy. So I keep strategy actually really, really simple in that it's basically, I want you to know this. Confused people don't buy. Bottom line. creating a plan every month. And I know my MDs are going to be like, I hate creating plans. I hear you. Manifestors too. It's okay. Create a plan in at least knowing what you're promoting. What are you selling this month? Okay. Are you going to sell your one-on-one and what you want to be known for? Or do you have something else? Like this month, the beginning of April, I looked at like, I want to run a workshop. Okay. So I know that like for 2 weeks prior to that, I'm going to be selling the workshop and the rest of the time is core content. Like the first week I was still in core content and then I moved into selling the workshop. And now after this workshop, I'm going to move back into core content and sharing just more core stuff. So sell one thing at a time. Okay. Don't confuse people by trying to sell a whole bunch of different offers. Pick one for a couple of weeks, focus on that, and then kind of even give buffer times of core message. That way people understand what you're trying to be known for. Your core content is what you want to be known for, your signature offer. Ooh, nice job, Chantel. Great. So the breaks in between can be the core message. And when you're selling your offer, focus on content that is about the result. So the workshop, I was focusing on what is the result of this workshop, and then what is the unique framework. So going back to that core, like, are you combining things? Are you focusing on the vision? Are you focusing on your system as a projector? Frame things in that way with the focus on the results of what you're going to get out of what you're selling. Make sense? And then, and I think this might be, so you have selling your offer is selling posts, the results, the benefits, those kinds of things, and testimonials. Those are selling an offer. Core message stuff is educational and listening questions. So it's how-tos, it's like just going into one piece of your process or one piece of your system and really explaining why it's important and how it relates to the end results or what you're trying to be known for. Okay. Does that make sense? Like I think we overcomplicate content in that we're like, what do I need to be saying? When do I need to be saying it? First, figure out what are you selling? When do you want to be selling it? If you don't have like a workshop or a launch or anything like that, focus on your core message and you'll have, honestly, when I first started doing it, it was all core message. It wasn't selling anything particular. It was all core message. And I would sprinkle in a selling post of like getting on a free call, right? So the selling would then be like, I'm selling my one-on-one. So I would focus on the result of working together one-on-one and sprinkle those in amongst the core messaging, educational, and listening type posts. Am I making sense? Okay. The actual framework of the content is really simple. We have a compelling headline, write it last. Write the body of so you're going to do a results selling post. So what is the results and really, and you're going to do it in the how. So what is your throat saying? So if you're emotional and it's all about your experience, you're going to talk about your experience to the result and why it matters. And then create that compelling headline that is something that would draw attention. Manifestors is going to be a bold statement. Gen's question potentially, like we're invoking a response from them. Projectors, it's how you see them or understand them, or how you see yourself too. And then the call to action of, I also like to, since most of the population is generators and MGs with the sacral, asking the yes or no question. Does this sound good? Does would you want to have this result? Things like that, asking that yes or no question and then telling them what to do next is the call to action.
always having that call to action.
I have a question. Sorry, as a manifester, so I really hate telling people what to do, and I don't.
Because you hate being told what to do, right?
Oh yeah, I can't stand.
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
So yeah, like what's the call? Is there?
The call to act, I mean, you're not telling someone what to do so much as like, you need to do this. If you ask that yes or no question beforehand, you're just telling them what they need to do next in response to the question. So if you said, are you on board? And they're like, yeah, like I'm totally on board. Then you need to tell them what to do next. Otherwise they're going to be like, I'm on board. Cool. But I don't know what to do next. We do need to tell them a little bit. You're not telling them your solution is the only solution. You're not telling them that, like, that's no. But you're just saying, this is what I'm creating. This is where I'm going. Are you wanting that too? If you are, awesome. Come on. Right? We're just inspiring them.
Get the ticket for the train.
Yeah. Get your ticket to the train. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Content aura. So this has been an interesting piece that I started probably a year ago. And I occasionally forget to do it, and it shows. It's giving your content a blessing, essentially. And what it does is just allows you to detach from the outcome of the content. And that's really, really important because, especially for projectors, but honestly for everyone, to put the content out there that in a way that, like, I'm just sharing this and I am not attached to what actually happens with this content. Like, I know for me, I used to, like, I'd write something and be like, oh my gosh, all the people are going to sign up for it. Right. And then nobody would sign up and I'd be crushed. So by giving it a little blessing and just sending it out, allows you to detach and just be okay with whatever happens. And that energy alone draws people to you. Just being like, and I just want to get my message out there, and it doesn't matter really what happens because I'm whole, I'm okay, I'm safe, all those things, right? And it's this is a blessing in your workbook as well. And closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and just visualizing your ideal client reading it. How does she feel when she's reading it? How do you feel about serving her? And saying, universe, guide this content to the right people at the right time, the highest good of everyone involved, and just release it. You're done. One, I feel like it really helps you hone in on who you're talking to. And it's the energy, right? It's that feminine flow. And it really does work. Yeah. And, before learning groups. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did it before I started this workshop. I always do it. It's so, so important. Okay. And then the bonus, the social that sells. So this is 3 different posts. This is strategic. And I do it before I am ready to, like, sell something really specific. So workshop or something like that. When I think about first, what are you selling? With the end in mind, what are you selling? Okay. And we want to ask a question that relates to the offer. Keeping it simple. I think I asked something about, like, how do you feel about writing your content or something like that? Was the question that I asked in the beginning of this when I started selling this. And then the second post the next day is, why does it matter? So why, this is a belief shift that we're helping people bridge. Why does feeling really good about your content matter? And you can share a story about, shifting it. You can share how the structure of that is depending on kind of like what you're feeling and how your chart lines up, but it could be sharing your own story of how you shifted things. It could be how you combine things or what you've mastered that works. And, but really it's like, why shifting to the matters to the overall vision for the manifester. Sorry. Why, how it relates to the big vision. There we go. But it's the why. Why does it matter? And then the last post the next day is how your offer supports that why. How your offer is solving the problem and getting what they desire. Still keeping it in the energy of your Mercury gate, still like working with that in your throat. But then it's painting the picture of how the offer is a no-brainer. And then that call to action obviously is buy the thing. And it really just starts to get them kind of in the frame of mind. It's not like you're suddenly dropping a new offer on people. They're already thinking about what you're going to offer from a psychology standpoint. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
For a projector, what is the balance between sharing our systems versus just sharing inspiration or something else that is coming through? So, like, especially for like sales pages and things like that, like, what is the balance what is the balance between the two, I guess, with our unique systems and just inspiration to where we see them, where we really recognize them?
I think for projectors, it's more important to share your system and how your story has created that system. Your inspiration, I think, can sprinkle in, but the hang up can be the inspiration starts to feel like you need to do this. And that's not the energy we want, right?
I love your answer. Yeah, just share from experience, and this is how I got here, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hildy. What's your question, my dear?
No, I don't have a question.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
Sorry. Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah,
Good for him.
I'm good.
Okay. Good.
I'm good.
Good. Any other questions before I go to the last little piece of it on what we've covered? Do you feel like you understand like what you need to be focusing on, how to shift the energy in your content to really be about you? It's like to really shine your energy and your light out into the world. That's really what my hope is for you. Cool. Last is like, do you guys want to know more about your chart and like what the like more looks like beyond all of this? Yes. Okay. So copy by design is another example or two. Caroline, example or two of what?
Of content that's aligned with type.
Okay.
If you had actual copy,
So that is a really good question. And I don't have specific examples lined up for this. So, but I'm going to take that as really good feedback. I should. So let's see. Let's take Joy as an example because I know your story. She's a manifester. She is creating the spa. Her big vision is a spa that has services that allow people to get out of their body. Or Joy, maybe let's see. It's hi Rachel.
Hi,
So,
Joy. I love you so much. So my spot is
is part of my big vision, but it's not it's not the whole big vision. It's just along the way for me. Yeah. So my big vision is to unite a person back with their body. Woo! I'm working on that. Holy smokes. I am working on that. Actually, I just want to help people stop wasting time. We have just a few days here on this earth. And so my vision is to help people connect with their dream, understand what their values are, and go for it and get it done.
And it starts,
that's my vision.
yeah. And it starts with connecting back to their body, which is the spa piece of it.
And it starts with that intimacy of building trust, starting with them coming to me.
So the content for you looks like, how are your spa offers really helping people connect back to their body? That's the first piece of it. Right? Yeah. From a manifestor standpoint, it's looking at it like you're calling them like when you connect back to your body, this is what happens. And how they become so much more themselves. They feel more confident. That's the big vision. And the offers and the content that you're creating is about why connecting back to the body is important first and foremost.
I love that.
Okay. Coffee by Design, sorry, is the 4-month container where we're uncovering gifts, we're igniting the voice, and we're amplifying your message. So we're looking at your chart and we're unpacking everything in there so that we can apply it to your message. And what is it that you are trying to say, both from your energetic level as well as your experience. So your experience comes into this as well. It's the USP. So your unique experiences combined with your energetics and your energetic blueprint and what your ideal client is asking for. So a big hang up I see with a lot of entrepreneurs, and especially in the spiritual world, is they get really vague and they're calling people to be confident, but that's not what an ideal client is necessarily thinking in this moment. So we have to understand, what are they asking for in this moment, and how is our experience, our energetics lining up to help serve them, and really getting clear on what that is and what that message is and what that offer is in their words. That's what we're doing. So it's first pillar is embodying your own authentic self and understanding who that is. So through your human design, solidifying what those unique gifts are within your human design. What is your throat gate? How are you sharing your voice? What are you communicating? It's also in defined centers, and so undefined centers are where we take in energy. Defined centers are where we give energy. And so what energy do we need to give? And how can we make sure that we're not getting lost in what we're absorbing from the world? It's generally what's happening. We absorb so much from other people that we don't know what it is that we're supposed to be giving. So really honing in on what that is from your defined and undefined center. Then the second pillar is clarifying that USP in your offer to align with you. Making sure that it's an offer that lights you up, that is exactly, we're not boxing it in. We're not putting any, a lot of people try to make it smaller because they think that's what people want. They'll say, oh, I have to offer an 8-week program or something. But really, you need 16 weeks to really hone in on and give the transformation that I want to give. Then we need to offer that 16-week, because if you offer it in a smaller package, you're making it small. You're not going to be lit up to sell it. It's not going to work.
You're not going to be allowed to do it or talk about it in your content either. So what does that offer? What is that thing that you want to be known for? And then creating everything around that. And then amplifying the message, which means that we're going in and revamping your website. We're going in and revamping sales pages, email, and content. And basically everything that you're writing is now amplified and like honed in on exactly who you are and what you need to be sharing, which means you grow your business in an aligned, authentic way. So logistics, there are bi-weekly calls with lots of stuff in between, homework and stuff in between. We'll do a full chart reading. You get a brand voice manifesto, which is all of the pieces put together in one document. So you can give that to your VA, or if you have another copywriter, and they know what it is that you're doing, what you're trying to communicate, what you're building, right? Putting the CEO hat on. What the heck are you building? Really having that all in one document. And then templates and frameworks and writing all the things, and the Boxer email support in between, and pass to make sure that you feel super comfortable. I want you in the end feeling comfortable with what your voice is. What is your message? What are you communicating to your people? And how are you serving them in a really big way? And the bonus, if you guys sign up by Sunday this week, is I'll write your website or your sales copy for you instead of doing it together. Like I'll write the whole thing and give it to you. Cool. Any questions about like what it is, what's in it, what's included? Yeah. So it's activation fee of or 44 and net 4 payments of $13.33. Questions on the workshop, questions on Copy by Design. Cool.
I do have a question, but it's not about the offer. It's about the 59
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
I'm just still trying to understand what that means.
The
The Mercury.
Oh, your gate 59?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at it. All right. 59 is to trust in sufficiency and to know that when you create abundance, there is great fulfillment in sharing. So I think it's honestly you trusting that you're creating your own abundance, and then just holding that space for other people to do the same.
That makes sense. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums it up. Yeah, that I get. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Good. I mean, cool. I will send a recording. And do you guys want the slideshow? Is that something that would be yes? Yes. Okay. I will send that in an email as well, along with the recording. Yeah, Lynn, ask your wife.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. It's more about the Mercury gates and how it connects to the throat, I guess.
Okay.
For me, it's the gate 57 and 56, which is all about. So I'm connected to the spleen,
Mm-hmm.
like ability to sense when it's the right time to act.
And spleen, really, it's important to be grounded. It's really important to be grounded and open to whatever needs to come through. So, your Mercury, on one hand, you're waiting for that sense of right timing and intuition of knowing, but then you're sharing stories that stimulate and inspire possibility in others. So when you sit down to write your content,
I don't. I go on the spur of like when I have an urge, and then I share. Like I share stories like when I have the urge to do it.
Okay.
That's
How do you feel like that? Does that feel like it's working, or is it
yeah.
yeah? Okay. Then stay with it. That's exactly, I mean, you can somewhat conjure and force it, I guess, force it in that creating the space where you feel grounded and you're like, okay, I'm ready to write. What do I need to write? Right. That's a lot of things what I do. But, if you
I mean, I
are,
have daily practices where I like ground in the morning and do my stuff, and then I
okay,
can have the urge to share.
yeah. Then from there, it's inspiring them to the possibility of your vision. What is the possibility? What is your vision as a manifestor? And really calling them to like what they could do if they have that, if that's their life. How are you inspiring them to become that? Like, are there and belief shift? Like, are your offers helping them get there? Or they should be.
Yeah, I know. Like I inspire a lot of people, but the containers I've created are great. But oftentimes I'm like, well, how do I get paid more to be inspiring people? Yeah. Okay.
How many offers do you have right now?
I mean, I work one-on-one. Yeah, I'm just working on a package. I've done many different things.
Yeah.
Created containers. Yeah, something called Gray, which is like exploring the unfamiliar places of motherhood. I've done many things. Yeah, like empowering parents of highly sensitive kids. Um, but as a manifestor too, I get exhausted with the like marketing and I'd like to maybe I'm looking at business models and maybe how to automate some of this stuff, but then I don't know how to like do the deeper work that I do with clients and in groups. So anyway, that's like a whole other.
I think marketing for you is going to be how do you like what sounds like really fun to do for marketing and do it that way. Even if nobody's done it, even if nobody says it'll work, whatever. If you feel like this is the way you want to market that way. And
Yeah, it's happened when I created something and then I just share it once or twice. And then I have like 13 women who sign up. Great. But then I don't want to repeat it.
you don't have to repeat it. And honestly, manifestors probably won't repeat it. You might, I mean, maybe there'll be an offer in there sometime that you'll repeat over and over, but yeah, there's always inspiration. There's always something new, right? But it's still all leading to the big vision.
Okay.
I would say automation wise, is there a way that you can create videos that people watch in the group and you're just supporting them on like a one group call a week or something, but they're watching content that's already recorded prior to?
Mhm.
And
Yeah, the way I do it's kind of different than everybody. Yeah. Anyway, it's like journeys that I bring people on and we go
I
deep
like that.
storytelling and powerful imagery and
I like that.
writing and stuff. So anyway, that's just me. Okay, so how it connects to the throat. So I just look at the gates there.
Yep. Looking at you're connected to the spleen. So it's very in the moment. And it's also 33, 45, and 56, which is emotional stories, knowledge and material resources. Helping others grow their abundant foundation. So understanding how they can set a foundation, communicating that to how do they set the foundation so they can reach the vision.
Mhm.
And the ability to translate a personal experience into an empowering narrative. So how is your experience teaching others how to get through a big vision and communicating that, both from emotional? I mean, 33 and 56 are somewhat the same in that it's your experience, your story. 56 is just more emotional.
Okay, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't want to get too much in my head too about this stuff, but
Yeah.
well, I guess sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to just keep talking about my stories. I mean, they're deep and they're powerful, and there has been growth and all that. Like all of us go through big stuff, but okay,
Well, mixing up testimonials too and sharing your client stories is helpful as well. But yeah, I mean, it's about the big vision and how you're helping people get there, how you've done it yourself. You have to know that you've done it. You're like, I am not going to get on a train with a conductor that has never gone to X destination and we're just free willing it, right?
Mhm.
Like I want a conductor that knows how to get there. I'm trusting you stepping on this train.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Will the vision often change with the 36 in the Mercury? Yeah, it can. To be totally honest, I have 36 as well, and it does sometimes change. So, and especially Casey, it's a year projector. Um, I say I'm an MG and it definitely changes. Yeah, I think it does. I think it does even for a projector. So really honing in on what that vision is, and maybe you need to keep it a little bit bigger and broader to allow for a little bit of shift underneath.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Anything
And
else?
do you, for me in the interim, as I'm kind of waiting for the clarity on this, call it either expanded vision or new vision, once I come out of the other side of this or closer to, I should, I might even be answering my own question, but I should wait till that vision sinks in and it's just as aligned as the last vision was, correct?
Yes, I wouldn't say that just to sit on the sidelines and wait for it to like drop in.
Okay.
I would ask yourself and journal on like what do I see? What do what is my vision right? Like given what you think the vision is right now,
Mm-hmm.
and take a step forward. What does that look
Got
like? What would be the next step towards that vision?
Mm-hmm.
And it might change as you take steps forward, but you're creating momentum, right? You want to create,
Right.
we're not just sitting around waiting, we're
Mhm.
creating a little bit of momentum and taking a step forward. So if the vision needs to change, that's fine. Um, but start with what you have now and take one step forward.
Yeah, and let it evolve.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming here and spending time with me and going through this. I know it was deep and somewhat complicated at times. It's not um it's not always easy to explain. But once you have all those pieces, they line up. They always do. And I think that's the biggest piece of this is that when you see your own what your experience is, when you see what your chart is saying, and who you want to serve and what you feel called to serve, it all starts to fall into place and it all starts to make sense. That's what I've discovered for myself and every single client. It seems confusing as hell in the beginning, but then you dissect it little by little, put the pieces together and clarity. It's like, oh, this is what I have to do. Okay. Um, so so appreciate you coming here and diving deep with me today. Um, and if you have any questions that are come up after this workshop, after we leave, definitely email me. I'm happy to answer them, or ask them in the group, whatever. Um, yeah. Anything else before we sign off? Cool. All right. Well, have a great rest of your week, everybody. And I will be sending out the recording and the work, or the slideshow. Yeah. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.